You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Wednesday, the 7th of June. Families face long searches, DNA test to find relatives killed in train crash. US calls partnership with India most consequential. And heatwave in Bangladesh leads to school closures, power cuts. And now for all the details. After India's worst train accident in 2 decades that killed 288 people and left nearly 1,200 injured in the Balasore district of the eastern state of Odisha, deceased families are facing long searches as they were seen waiting for DNA test to determine the body. Mohammad Inam ul Haq has been struggling for over 4 days to find his missing brother and to claim his nephew's body from the many lying in city hospitals. Desperate families searched hospitals and mortuaries in search of their loved ones, but the gruesome condition of the corpses made identification a challenge. Nearly 100 bodies remain unclaimed in several hospitals and mortuaries across Odisha as of late Monday, officials have said.
एक भतीजा है जिसको हम पहचान किए हैं, वो मेरा भतीजा है, लेकिन उस पर 5 लोगों ने और बोला है कि मेरा भतीजा है, इसलिए जो है वो बॉडी डीएनए टेस्ट होने के बाद ही हमको मिल सकता है, जिसका होगा उसको दे दिया जाएगा।
तो डीएनए टेस्ट कैसे करेंगे?
डीएनए टेस्ट मैं अपने भाई का दूसरा बच्चा के साथ करवा रहा हूँ। मैं 2 भतीजा था, एक भतीजा जो मिल गया है उनका डीएनए इनका डीएनए दोनों का मैच करवाऊँ।
The train services are back to normal in Balasore, including the Coromandel Express, where the deadly train accident took place. Railway staff are working day and night in the district to bring normalcy as soon as possible. And United States on Tuesday called partnership with India as one of the most consequential relationship. US State Department spokesperson Vedant Patel, highlighting the close collaboration between the two governments, said Washington is looking forward to deepening economic ties and enhancing security cooperation with the South Asian nation. The statement from Patel comes in response to a question raised over Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's state visit to Washington later this month. US lawmakers have also invited Modi to address a joint meeting of Congress. The United States is working to deepen its ties with India in its efforts to push back against China's expanding influence worldwide.
Reiterate again that our partnership with India is one of the most consequential. It is a consequential relationship. We work closely with the Indian government on some of our most vital priorities, and we look forward to hosting them here later this month and continuing to deepen our engagement on these issues.
Well, in a report released on Tuesday, the World Bank has projected Pakistan's economy to grow by 2% in the upcoming fiscal year, in contrast to the target of 3.5% set by Shehbaz Sharif-led government. In the report, Global Economic Prospect, the lender said continuing effect of last year's floods, compounded by political crisis in the country, have limited growth to 0.4% in the current fiscal year. The projection comes ahead of the annual budget of Pakistan, which is facing its worst economic crisis due to months of delay in securing funding from the International Monetary Fund. IMF's $1.1 billion funding is critical for Pakistan to unlock other bilateral and multilateral financing to avert a debt default. And the acting governor of a northeastern Afghan province, Nisar Ahmed Ahmadi, has been killed in a car bombing on Tuesday. Officials have confirmed, claimed by an affiliate of the ISI group. The driver was also killed and 6 people were wounded in the blast, which was the first known attack on a Taliban official in Afghanistan in several weeks. Since the return of the Taliban to power in August 2021, ISIS has been a major threat to the de facto authorities of Afghanistan. They have been behind several brutal attacks. The Taliban administration has been carrying out raids against members of Islamic State, which had claimed several major attacks in urban centers. The United States top official Robert Caproth, accompanied by US Ambassador to Colombo Julie Chung, met with Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe on Tuesday and reaffirmed the United States' long-standing support for the country, spanning over 75 years of diplomatic relations. He reiterated the commitment of the United States to working together with Sri Lanka to achieve its shared vision of a stable, prosperous country. Caproth and Chung also met with the country's foreign minister, Ali Sabri after they discussed the progress of IMF engagement and debt restructuring and how the assistance provided by the US has helped Sri Lanka to emerge from the crisis. The South Asian island republic plunged into crisis last year as its foreign exchange reserves ran out, food and energy prices spiraled, and protesting mobs forced the ouster of the country's then president. And frequent power cuts amid soaring heat waves in Bangladesh have made lives difficult in the South Asian country. Residents are unable to run fans to cool themselves as weather officials warned relief was not imminent. Take a look. A searing heat wave in Bangladesh spurred the closure of primary schools this week as Bangladesh Meteorological Department warned there was no end in sight for the heat in the coming days. The heatwave conditions have also triggered frequent power cuts across the country, worsening conditions for the residents. Bangladesh's Junior Minister for Power and Energy, Nasrul Hamid, has warned the power cuts may continue for 2 more weeks as the fuel shortage has sparked shutdowns of several power generating units in the country, including its biggest coal-fired plant.
গরমে কোনো গরম হালান জানা গাছের ছায়া কোনো নাই এই ধরনের সমস্যা আছে এই গরমের মধ্যে রিক্সা চালানো খুব কঠিন মনে করেন বিদ্যুতের কারণে মুরগি টিকতে পারতেছে না মনে করেন মুরগি মারা যাইতেছে যার কারণে কারণ থাকে না মনে 1 ঘন্টা থাকলে 2 ঘন্টা থাকে না রাত্রেবেলা বাসা যাইলে ঘুমাইতে পারি না মনে কারণ নাই যার গরমের কারণে ঘুম আসে না
The frequent power cuts have also made a dent in country's economy, including its crucial apparel sector that accounts for more than 80% of its exports. The revenue loss is likely to exacerbate issues around the country's dollar reserves, which have plunged to a 7-year low and limited its ability to pay for fuel imports. And residents of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir have a special affinity for stones, and stone carving has been an important part of life in the valley. But they say they are worried as the historic stone carving tradition is losing its sheen. Stone carving has been an important part of the valley, whether it is veneering technique used in building Kashmiri homes or the use of stones in gardens. They say there is still a high demand for pestles, mortars and hammam slates, but this art is dying due to lack of manpower and people rejecting this as a career. Over the past 2 decades, following social stigma and modernization, new gadgets and tools are replacing the traditional ones, they said. Set up on the roadside at Sempora, there are workshops where stone masons create amazing artifacts by their hard work. Kashmir Valley has a very rich old cultural and traditional history, and stone carving is one of them.
यहाँ पे हर कुछ बनता है, हमाम बनता है, कुंडी बनता है और हर कोई चीज़ यहाँ पे बनता है, फंडाई बनता है, जो भी मकान में लगता है वो बनता है। तो ये कितना अच्छा है? बहुत अच्छा है क्योंकि हम पढ़ा लिखे हैं कि अब कोई नौकरी नहीं मिली तो हम इसी से वाबस्ता हो गए। बहुत अच्छा काम है।
Well, that's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow.